I'm going to be straight on forward with you guys. Raw sucked. Outside of two things. Outside of Edge and Orton segment to kick off the show and the return of Kevin Owens. That's it. That's it. Show sucked. And if you guys did not watch Raw, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Now, before I begin with Raw review here, I'm going to sit here and just address the elephant in the room here. I made a poll on Twitter, and all of you people voted on it, and all of you guys said yes, which I'm not really surprised. You people voted yes on if I can shit on this certain individual, this certain individual in this review. All of you said yes. Not one person said no. Not one person said no. This this certain individual is not only the biggest pussy in the IWC, the biggest virgin in the IWC. This motherfucker thinks that he is a prominent figure in the IWC. Motherfucker, this middle finger has played with a lot of more pussy than you ever could, bro. That you can ever dream of, bro. Just know. I guarantee you, with his spirit fingers that he does, which Bubba hates, which I know, it's cringe. It's fucking cringe. All these spirit fingers that Storm does on his videos and shit during his lame-ass, boring, sleep-inducing videos. Are you really gonna sit there and watch a 2-hour video of Storm's? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. These spirit fingers that Bubba hates so much, which I don't really blame him at all. It's, like I said, it's fucking cringe. All these spirit fingers, I bet all these spirit fingers has never touched a warmth, wetness of a woman's pussy, have not touched the sometimes big, sometimes small, sometimes medium of a woman's breast, and I guarantee you Storm's spirit fingers has never touched a woman, period. Who in their right frame of mind at this point is a colleague of Storm's? Now, I know a few people that I know of are friends, and they're innocent on this. They're innocent on this. Some of the people that I know are in his chat are innocent. Are complete innocent. You guys know who you are. I'm not going to mention no names. I know that some people in Storm's lame-ass group chat are innocent. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to shit on Storms completely. Now, I don't want to waste too much of your time. I'm only 3 minutes in. I don't want to waste too much of your time here. But Storms thinks he is a quote-unquote prominent figure in the IWC. How can you be a prominent figure in the IWC when you're hated by at least 98% of the wrestling community? Both men and women hate you. Storms, I want you to do me this simple favor, big bro. I want you to keep the same energy that you have by blocking people, talking shit about them when you already blocked them and shit. Keep all that same energy outside of Twitter and see what happens to you right after. Because I guarantee you, if you was to be in my face right now and you was to be talking all this shit, I wouldn't even hesitate and punch you in the face. I wouldn't even hesitate and punch you in the face. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Now, I learned my lesson. Storms dragged me into a situation that I didn't want to be in. Storms sat there and argued with Bubba and shit over an opinion on AEW. At this point, it is what it is. But Storms is such a pussy. He gets people to fight his battles for him. Storms, how old are you? You're like, what, 24, 25 years old? And you're having internet people fight your own battles? Storms, you're outnumbered at this point. You're outnumbered. You're outnumbered. And there's a reason why Storms hasn't mentioned me at all in his tweets. Is because I have dirt on him. I have so much dirt on Storms. It's not even funny. Hell, I was in that group chat. I was at one point friends with him, which I regret at this point. I regret being Storms' friend. Regret it. Regret it. I get a lot of people DMing me on Twitter saying, oh, Chris, you know, I appreciate what you said about Storms and shit. I appreciate this. I appreciate that. I appreciate how you speak on behalf of people who are friends with Storms and shit. You're welcome. Like I said, I'm not going to mention any names, but you know who you are at this point. You know who you are. Storms, I will say this right now. You are about to get exposed so badly that you're going to quit YouTube. I did my part. I was genuine enough and the bigger man here to apologize to Bubba and shit when it wasn't necessary. I learned my lesson. I apologized to her. We squashed our beef. Everything was good from there. Everything was good from there. You, Storms, you refuse. You refuse to be the bigger man here and apologize because you think you are the prominent figure in the IWC when deep down inside, Storms, you are the biggest fucking pussy and the biggest fucking virgin in the IWC. Period. Hell, my beard, I know it looks fucking terrible, but my beard looks a whole lot better than yours. And look at the shit that is in. I don't have no chin strap. Who the fuck rocks a chin strap in 2020? Hell, 1997 will want that fucking chin strap back, you fucking pussy. Keep that same energy that you do on Twitter and keep that same energy outside. Go outside, go get some pussy if you can even get some. But so, hell, if you're a woman and you're talking to Storms, this chin strap that Storms has to de-attract you, bro. I would just dump him from there. Let me say this now. I know I'm a man and I know I have a dick and shit, I know. But if I was a woman and Storms was to approach me in a club and I see that chin strap shit, I'm out of the fucking door. I'm out of the fucking door, bro. Storms looks like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Storms looks like he has a microscopic penis. He looks like he has that type. Because he has no balls whatsoever. According to his Twitter account. I bet you money. Hell, I was wondering this. Bubba was wondering about this. How many people has he blocked? I wonder what is his block list is. How many people has he blocked on Twitter? I would love to know. If somebody would fucking tell me about that, please let me know on Twitter. Please let me know. Please let me know on Twitter. Storms, you're a pussy. You'll forever, ever be a pussy. And you know better not to approach me when we're fucking outside in real life. You know not to approach me because you know. Because you know better, big bro. You know better. You and this motherfucker that you have there, Blue Riott, y'all both are pussies, big bro. Pussies. Pussies. I guarantee you that both of you guys tickle each other's small ass ball sacks on a daily basis, bro. You will never cop no bitch. You will never fucking cuff a bitch. A woman. I'm not saying bitch. Woman. You will never bag a woman. You will never have sex with a woman, period. You are the biggest virgin in the IWC, and 98% of the community knows it. Knows it. Is that enough of me bearing you, Storms, or shall I go on? Or shall I go on? And don't even DM me on Twitter. Oh, Chris, I want to be friends again. No, motherfucker. No. 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 I'd rather go skydiving than be friends with you again, bro. Just know. And I will do whatever it takes to expose you for who you truly are. A coward. Mic drop. Damn, 10 minutes of ranting with Storms. Jesus Christ, 10 minutes. There you go. That's your rant of the week with Storms. That's your rant of the week. Your rant of the week, big bro. What is this guy? I hope that I hope it's still real, bro. If you're watching, I hope that was good. Is that good? Is that good? Good. If you're watching, just let me know. Was that good? Yeah? Good. Okay, let's make sure. Let's talk about Raw tonight. Raw was fucking trash. If you fell asleep during the show, you didn't miss a damn thing. You did not miss a goddamn thing on this show tonight. Nothing. Nothing at all. Outside of the opening segment and the return of Kevin Owens that we got tonight, and Apollo Crews too tonight. What happened on this show? Nothing. Nothing at all. This show was boring. Boring! The first hour sucked outside of the opening segment. The second hour was fucking sleep-inducing. And the third hour, I barely hung on. I was playing NBA 2K20, my team, while I had Monday Night Raw as the background noise for 3 hours. Absolutely fucking terrible. Absolutely garbage. This show sucked. And if you people are gonna sit there on social media and defend this show just to fucking chase clout, I don't know what to tell you. Nia Jax is fucking terrible. 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 We will go over everything on the show tonight. Show sucked. Just that simple. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm your boy Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel for your Monday, May 18th, 2020. Now, also, another thing here. I am recording this from my cousin's laptop because obviously, as you guys know from last week, my laptop's battery fucked up. So I had ordered a new laptop. So I'm borrowing my cousin's laptop until next week when my new laptop arrives to my crib. So I'll be happy from there. So for now on, I'll be doing videos from my cousin's laptop until next week when I get my new laptop. I'll be doing Raw review as of right now. I'll be doing Dynamite review on Wednesday. NXT probably on Thursday. I'll probably review SmackDown on Friday. I'm probably going to quit during the podcast for now. Because I have like so much, I mean, I don't really have that much to do, but you know, I just don't want to do a podcast for now. Eventually the podcast will come back, it's just not now. Right now I'm not ready to like, you know, be back on the swing of thing. I just want to take my time with it, because I know I'm back on YouTube. I just want to take my time with it. So, especially with this whole, you know, with the CV happening and everything else, you know, I just want to have time for myself for now that I'm home in quarantine, which I hope you guys are also doing. Social distancing, remember, wash your hands at all times, which I highly doubt that Storms does, which is, I doubt that he washes his hands. I highly doubt that. But, this is your official Monday Night Raw review for your Monday, May 18th, 2020. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. If you guys thought that Raw was completely terrible, boring, and sleep-inducing, hit the like button, please. If you guys thought that my rant and my promo on DJ Storms was fucking fantastic, also hit the like button, too. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of Raw tonight. I thought it was fucking terrible and sleep-inducing and boring, which is the same thing every single week. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on those guys for all notifications. Monday Night Raw tonight started with Charlie Caruso. I mean, obviously, they did the Becky Lynch pregnancy video package from last week. I know she's pregnant, Vince. I know. It was at a point where Rollins tweeted a picture on Twitter. I know, big bro. I retweeted it. I know. Stop with the fucking shit, Vince. We all know she's pregnant. We know. Jesus fucking Christ. We go right to the ring with Charlie Caruso. She mentions Hall of Famer Edge and Randy Orton, then brings out Orton as her special guest. The music hits and out comes Orton. Orton talked about his challenge to Edge for Backlash for the straight-up wrestling match, which Charlie Caruso said it could, according to some, I would love to know who these some people are. It's probably Storms and fucking Blue Riott. Probably those two fucking knuckleheads. Those two fucking bitches. Charlie Caruso said for some, it could be the greatest wrestling match ever. I'm sorry. Taker and Shawn from WrestleMania 25 would love to have a conversation with you. Brett and Owen from WrestleMania 10 would love to have a conversation with you. And Brett and Shawn from WrestleMania 12 would love to have a conversation with you. Miss Charlie Caruso. Moving on. He asked why this challenge is so hard for people to understand. This is World Wrestling Entertainment, and that's what we do. Wrestle. He does go on about how they tore each other up at WrestleMania 36, but Edge isn't the better wrestler. He knows it and plans to improve it, but doesn't need tables, ladders, or chairs to prove that. Orton goes on before facing the camera and addressing Edge, who was in the building, by the way, in the PC. Orton knows why Edge didn't accept his challenge last week. He saw it all over his face and in his eyes. Doubt. Orton goes on, but the music interrupts and out comes Edge. Edge says Orton spoke a lot of truths last week. He knows Orton is playing chess and he can't rush into his next move. Edge says this is all a game to Orton, just a paycheck. Edge gets heated and they yell at each other while facing off in the middle of the ring. Orton just wants to know if Edge will accept the challenge. Edge yells at him and says yes. He accepts. Edge drops the mic. Orton puts down and nods at Edge. Orton makes his exit, staring at Edge while backing up the ramp. Edge's music hits as Byron confirms the match for Backlash. Let me tell you people why Edge and Orton is happening at Backlash. If you guys are living under a rock, if you guys saw the match at WrestleMania 36, it was terrible. The match went how long? Like what, over a half hour? Like 36, 37 minutes that they fought at Backlash? No, at Backlash. At WrestleMania? You cut that last man standing match between Edge and Orton at WrestleMania by a good 10 to 15 minutes? It would be a good match. But the match went too long. The reason why we're getting Edge and Orton at Backlash is because the company is basically telling you guys, without telling us, that the match they had at WrestleMania was fucking terrible. That's why we're getting this match at Backlash. Not only that, it's going to be a straight up wrestling match. No weapons, no nothing. It's a regular singles match. This is basically a singles match between Edge and Orton. What do I think about this? I mean, do I want to see Edge and Orton again? No. I don't. Don't get me wrong, I love Edge and I love Orton, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, why are they fighting again? I thought that the last man standing match was the end of this rivalry between Edge and Orton. Now we gotta see it again at Backlash? Now I guarantee you, now this is... If you've been a wrestling fan for over 20 plus years like I am, I know how this is going to work. Edge got his win at WrestleMania. Orton is going to get his win at Backlash. And it's one-on-one. One win for Edge, one for Orton. Where they're going to have one more matchup either at Extreme Rules in July or SummerSlam in August. That is what they'll probably be their last match ever. Which will probably be at SummerSlam. If you want to stack up SummerSlam, you could do Edge and Orton again at SummerSlam. This time, to end everything, it's got to be Hell in a Cell. It's got to be Hell in a Cell. Just saying that. But I already know how this is going to work. Orton is going to get his win back from WrestleMania, and then they're going to feud over the summer until SummerSlam. Which is basically it. But I thought this was a good opening segment. I thought it was pretty good. Orton caught a good promo. Edge caught a emotional promo, which I felt, which was really, really good out of Edge. You know, Edge can talk in the microphone. He really can. He can really talk in the microphone, which I love. And Orton too. Orton and Edge, two of my favorites of all time. Two of my favorites, among others. But I don't know. I want to give this a chance for Backlash. Who knows? Maybe the match between Edge and Orton at Backlash would be good. And also, Edge did mention this. Edge beat Orton for the Intercontinental Championship back in 2004. And that match was really, really good. I believe it was back at Vengeance of 04. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was back at Vengeance of 04. If you guys could tell me the pay-per-view, please sum it up down below in the comment section. I think it was Vengeance of 2004. When I think Edge came back from, I think Edge came back from neck surgery. He had broken his neck, I think around 2003 or 2002. Edge broke his neck, I think it was around 2003. Edge broke his neck and missed more than a year of action. He missed more than a year of action. He came back in 04, and I think he beat Orton for the IC title back in 04. I think it was Vengeance, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Vengeance. And then Orton went on to become the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in history. So there you go from there. I want to give this a chance at Backlash. Who knows? Maybe Edge and Orton could have a good match. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But I want to give this a chance. But let's see what happens here for Backlash. I'm willing to give this a chance. I think they will have a great match at Backlash. And then let's just see what happens from there. But the opening segment wasn't that bad to kick off the show. Tom goes over what happened with Seth Rollins injuring Rey Mysterio last week. We see Seth backstage staring off. Murphy approaches and pats him on the back. Rollins looks at Murphy and smiles. Rollins says he's had a revelation and wants to share it with the world. They walk off together. Back from commercial break. Back from break, out comes Seth Rollins, Papa Rollins, with Murphy. Tom confirms Murphy versus Aleister Black for later on tonight on the show. Rollins takes the mic and says sometimes in life you have to lose who you are to truly find yourself. When he lost to Drew McIntyre at Money in the Bank, part of him felt like he lost everything. He fell into a dark place, one he thought he might never escape. But without darkness, there can be no light. I like that line for Seth Rollins. I really do like that line from him. Without darkness, there can be no light. Rollins says he has seen the light, and he's seen it brighter than ever before. That is all thanks to one man, and that one man is Rey Mysterio. Rollins says what happened to Rey has been described by some as heinous, disgusting, unforgivable, and it has been described by others as an act of penance paid to Rollins for Rey's disbelief in the Monday Night Messiah, but Rollins doesn't see it that way at all. The way he sees it is what happened to Rey was unfortunate but necessary. A sacrifice for the greater good, the cathartic moment he needed for the charity, for the clarity he needed to be the leader he was meant to be. Give me a second. Rollins wants to now speak to Rey directly. He's looking at the hard cam. He knows Rey's at home with his family, and he's healing. And he knows Rey can't see it right now. He literally can't see it. But soon enough, he will understand that last week was a blessing in disguise. Rollins says from the bottom of his heart, so it doesn't need to be said when they meet again. Rey, you're welcome. The music interrupts Rollins as Humberto Carrillo makes his way out, and I'm just sensing that JD is going to say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, Humberto in his review. Listen, man, I just love JD, man, I really do. Humberto says no one believes that Rollins is trying to care about Rey. Rey is a hero to millions, and he is Humberto's idol. He says all Rollins is a coward. Humberto rushes the ring, but Murphy gets in front of Rollins. Rollins appreciates and respects Humberto coming up to stand up for Rey, but if he's out to fight, Rollins isn't dressed for the occasion. However, his disciple, Murphy, has a match later tonight and is dressed. But he would be happy to give Humberto a fight right now if he's looking for one. They face off as the music hits, and we go back to commercial. This was a good promo by Rollins. Pretty good promo. I love how, how indirect he was to Ray, which I really like. One thing about Rollins that people don't speak about often, he can cut a good promo if he wants to. Now, I'm loving this, the new music that Rollins has, the way he's acting now, the dress up. There was at some point in the show that Tom Phillips says Seth Rollins is the Black Hand of Monday Night Raw. I love that line. That Rollins is the Black Hand. He has the Black Hand of Monday Night Raw. I love that line. I really do. So we got Murphy and Humberto. I obviously think that Rollins and Mysterio will feud. I think they have a match at Backlash. If Ray is cleared enough to wrestle, they'll fight at Backlash. That's my honest opinion there. Because Rollins needs somebody to feud where Drew McIntyre is occupied right now with the WWE Championship. So we got Murphy versus Humberto. I didn't really care about this match. I knew Murphy was gonna get the victory, and he did. And he clearly got the victory. Carrillo fights up and out, nailing a jawbreaker. Carrillo blocks a knee and kicks Murphy to the apron and kicks him to the floor in front of Rollins. Carrillo runs the ropes and leaps out, taking Murphy down again. Carrillo brings it back in and is distracted by Rollins, typical babyface syndrome. From the floor, Carrillo springboards at Murphy, but Murphy nails a knee in midair. Murphy follows up with Murphy's Law and picks up the victory in a very short match. I love Murphy. I'm starting to love him more and more and more as I see him. Humberto, I can't take him serious. Yeah, he's great in the ring. Sure, he's good in the ring, but I can't take him serious. Why? He's having almost every single L. He's an L taker, just like Storms, just like Blue Riott. They hold L's. They are a walking L. I'm not sure if you guys know, but Storms and Blue Riott are the walking L's in the IWC. No cap. Murphy wins in a very short match. Do you care about Humberto? No, I don't. Who cares? After the match, Murphy stands tall as Rollins enters the ring. Carrillo is attacked and sent to the floor. Good. Murphy follows, but the music hits and out comes Aleister Black. Black attacks Murphy at ringside and unloads. Rollins walks up to the top of the ramp to watch as Black knocks Murphy back out of the ring with Black mass. Black checks on Carrillo at ringside as Murphy joins Rollins on the stage. And obviously we got Murphy and Black later on tonight on the show. King Corbin's backstage. It's enough that I see him on Friday. Do we have to see him on Monday? Honestly. Corbin's backstage yelling at a staffer because he doesn't have his own private locker room. They're in the fucking Performance Center. There isn't that much locker rooms there. A referee approaches after Corbin sent for him. Corbin continues ranting about how he's not being treated right as the guest of Raw. Who gives a fuck about King Corbin? Corbin talked to the referee about what he's going to do in the match later on. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get a pre-recorded message from Liv Morgan in the back. She says her mom is her hero. Her mom didn't have a good job or much of a savings account or resume, but she had determination. Liv goes on and says her mom never quit and she is her mother's daughter. A few weeks back, Liv had a match with the NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, the pride and joy of WWE. Did she win? No. But did she learn? Yes. She learned she's just like her mother, and she's determined she'll be one day become Raw Women's Champion. It's pretty much possible now. Now that Becky's out of the picture and shit. Yeah, I can see that soon. Not now. Not now, but soon. Not enough. Not now, but eventually. Liv Morgan will have her time as Raw Women's Champion. I mean, cross our fingers she is. We get Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riott. Can I ask, why is Charlotte on Monday Night Raw? Why is Charlotte even competing on SmackDown? Honestly, why? Why? It's enough. It's enough. It's enough, bro. It's enough. that she is competing, it's enough that she's the NXT Women's Champion. It's enough. Why is she showing up on Raw and SmackDown when she's the NXT Women's Champion? Can anybody just sit there and answer that question for me? Why is Charlotte on Raw and SmackDown when she's the NXT Women's Champion? Hello? Can anybody just sit there and answer that question for me? Please. Please. It's enough that we have her as NXT Women's Champion. Now you want to shove Charlotte down our throats by having her on Raw and SmackDown. And also, it was already been confirmed that Charlotte is going to face Bayley, champion versus champion, on Friday on SmackDown. Hello? Hello? This is a joke. This company is a fucking joke. Charlotte versus Ruby Riott, like I fucking sat there. I would be lying to you if I said that I watched this match. I didn't. I did not watch this match. This match was sleep-inducing. I was playing NBA 2K20, my team, while hearing this fucking matchup. And of course, Charlotte wins. Because why not? She's the queen. She's the queen. The sooner the championship is off of Charlotte, the better. The better. The better. Yeah, people want to say on social media, oh, Charlotte is a draw. If Charlotte was a draw, NXT will be beating AEW in the ratings. Now, has that been the case? No. Has that been the case? No. No. So don't sit there and say, oh, Charlotte is a draw. When you know full hand, first of all, that she's not a fucking draw. And she never will be. Oh, by the way, I have to admit this to you. Becky was never a draw either. I don't care who I pissed off. Becky was never a draw. Never. Becky Lynch was never a draw. She never was. Let's just get that out there, please. Charlotte beats Ruby Riott with the figure 8. I would love to know when is Ruby Riott's contract expiring. I would love to know. I would love to know. Charlotte wins. Do you give a fuck? No. I don't either. Charlotte Caruso is backstage with Bobby Lashley now. MVP interrupts after she brings up tonight's match with R-Truth. MVP says he and Lashley won't be doing business together because right now Lashley is focused on clowns like Truth and his wife Lana. Lashley may be surprised at what he's hearing. MVP goes on about how Lashley must be cool with not competing for the WWE Championship in years. And I said this last week, I'm going to say it again this week. The last time Bobby Lashley competed for the WWE Championship was the Great American Bash 2007 against John Cena. That's almost 2 decades ago. Almost 2 decades ago. That was the last time Bobby Lashley competed for the WWE Championship. It was back in 2007 at the Great American Bash in San Jose against John Cena. MVP isn't trying to cause any trouble between Lashley and his wife, but he doesn't even want anything from Lashley. But he hopes Lashley will think about his future and when he will free himself. Maybe MVP will see him out there later on tonight. MVP walks off and we go to commercial. Back from the break and the announcers confirm Edge versus Orton for Backlash. Now I'm not going to go over the axe throwing match between the Raiders and the Street Profits. I will not go over that. That is a complete waste of everybody's time. Complete waste of time. It's fucking terrible. This is bad. Fucking terrible. So we go to the ring, and Kairi Sane is out. Kairi Sane is out with a mic. There are balloons everywhere. Sane introduces her partner, and out comes the new Raw Women's Champion, Asuka. Tom welcomes us to the era of Asuka on Monday Night Raw. And yes, you guys know Asuka is a Grand Slam winner on the main roster. She won the NXT Women's Championship, the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, and the Women's Tag Team Championships. Asuka is now a Grand Slam winner. Asuka and Bayley has done something that Charlotte will never ever do. Become a Grand Slam winner. Asuka takes the mic and thanks Shane as Shane presents her with a bouquet of flowers, which was beautiful. Asuka mentions Becky Lynch becoming a mother and says she's so happy. Aren't us all? Shane shows us how Asuka has been NXT Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, Women's Tag Team Champion, and now the Raw Women's Champion. Shane calls her a Grand Slam champion, and Asuka starts dancing around. Shane plays a flute now until the music interrupts, and out comes Nia Jax to crash the championship celebration. Jax says there's nothing to celebrate because Asuka was handed the title by Becky. I mean, Nia's right, you know. Nia's basically right. Jax says Asuka lucked her way into the greatest temp job ever because Becky is on maternity leave and soon she'll be replaced by someone more worthy. Jax. You know, that is just as funny as Storm saying he is a prominent figure in the IWC. That was funny. That was hilarious. Jax steps up to her and says, "Look at me and look at you." Yeah, Jax, you're fucking ugly. That's one thing for sure. Jax threatens Asuka again, and Shane steps to her. Jax says tells Shane to chill. Asuka immediately attacks and backs Jax against the ropes. Asuka with a hip attack to knock Jax to the floor. Asuka yells at Jax in the ring. As Jax stares her down, Asuka's music hits and as Jax backs up the ramp. I am having nightmares now. I'm having nightmares now that we could possibly be getting Nia Jax versus Asuka at Backlash for the Raw Women's Championship. If that isn't, folks, your bathroom break, your sleeping break, taking a nap break, fucking your wife break, cooking dinner break, getting a beverage break, playing 2K break, playing Fortnite break, anything break, that is going to be your bathroom break match at Backlash. Who is going to care about Asuka and Nia Jax at Backlash? Who is going to give a shit? We all know Asuka is going to retain the championship. She just won the title. What makes you think Nia has a better chance of beating Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship at Backlash when Asuka just won the title? Don't know. Charlie's backstage with King Corbin now. She asks if he has any doubts about tonight's match with Drew McIntyre. Corbin says Drew may be WWE champion, but he's not king. We see Drew watching the interview as Corbin goes on taking shots. Corbin says he's going to take advantage of every mistake Drew makes tonight, then beat him. Corbin said the next time he steps in the ring with Drew after tonight will be the main event at WrestleMania, and he will take the WWE title. Is Corbin saying he's going to win the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble match in Seattle next year? No, he's not. Tom hypes Corbin versus McIntyre, and we come back from commercial. Still to come, we got the Kevin Owens show with Zelina Vega, Andrade, Austin Theory, and Angel Garza. We get a match between R-Truth and Bobby Lashley. Didn't we see this match last week? R-Truth wins again. I'm not going to go over it, but just know Lashley beats R-Truth again. So let me get this straight. You are going. Give me a second. I forgot to do one thing here. Give me a second here. There you go. That's what I forgot to do earlier. I forgot to take the charger off that laptop. Okay, there we go. Much better. Okay. So let me get this straight here. You are going to have Lashley. No, you're going to build up Lashley as Drew McIntyre's next potential opponent at Backlash for the WWE Championship. And you want to build up Lashley by just beating nobodies on Raw? How is that building up, people? How is that building up, people? He's faced... remember this, folks. Remember this. He faced R-Truth not once, not twice, but in 3 consecutive weeks, going back to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. They faced off at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. They faced off on Raw last week, and they faced off again this week. How is this building up Bobby Lashley as a threat to face Drew McIntyre at Backlash, potentially, for the WWE Championship? How is that building up Lashley when he's beating the same guy for the past 3 weeks? How is that building somebody up to face McIntyre at Backlash for the WWE Championship? Can somebody make sense of that? I don't know. I don't know. Unless if you're a fucking cocksucker and a clout chaser, you would answer that question. Oh, because, Raw has nobody else, so they have to go with fucking Lashley. That's not my problem. That is not my problem. You have a lot of fucking talent in that roster. Out of everybody, you chose Lashley? When we all know that Lashley has no fucking chance of beating Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. He has no chance of beating McIntyre. None. Because we love McIntyre. What is it good if Lashley wins the title at Backlash? If he's the next challenger for freaking Drew McIntyre. How good would that be? A waste of time. And to be honest with you, I can't take Lashley serious. I just can't. That's not my problem. It's not my problem. At the end of the day, it's not my problem. It's not. Lashley wins. Do you give a shit? No. Asuka and Kairi Shayna backstage celebrating still. We see Nia Jax staring them down as they go their separate ways. It looks like Jax is stalking Shane as they go to commercial. Then we got the worthless women's tag team title match between the worthless Iconics and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I didn't watch this match, nor did I give a shit about this match. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win by DQ. I guarantee this was set up a match at Backlash for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Guarantee you. I'm not going to go over this match because it's a waste of time. But just know Bliss and Nikki Cross, they retain the worthless women's Tag Team Championships. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? After the bell, Bliss and Cross hit the towel as the music hits to go replays. The Iconics ran on the ring while Bliss and Cross clutched their titles on the floor. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Kairi Sane is backstage alone with her flute. Nia Jax comes from behind and launches her back into production case. Jax walks off while Sane is down, clutching her head. Back to commercial. Back from the break, in the Iconics, or should I say the worthless Iconics, are arguing. Billy Kay says Payne and Royce blew their chance to get the towels back. Billy slaps Payne, but immediately apologizes as they both start crying. They hug to end the segment. Now, I was thinking here for a second, which I highly doubt will even happen. Are they teasing a breakup between Billy Kay and Payne Royce? I was just thinking that just for the sake of thinking it. I don't know. Tom shows us a preview for The Last Ride Chapter 3. I think he showed us Chapter 2, not Chapter 3. It's Chapter 2. Chapter 3 will be on Sunday. Have you guys been watching the Undertaker documentary? It's fucking fantastic. Let me tell you, it's fucking fantastic. Now, I was thinking about this, and I was watching Monster last week while he was reviewing, I believe, Chapter 1 last week. Is this a tease? Is this a tease of Undertaker retiring possibly this year or possibly in 2021? Now, I was thinking about this. If you was to have Taker's one last opponent at Survivor Series, which, ironically, Survivor Series in November is in Dallas, Texas, and Taker is from Texas. Taker is from Texas, and Survivor Series is the pay-per-view that Undertaker made his debut back in 1990, 30 years ago. Could this be a beginning point of Taker's career slowly ending? If you was to book one match for Taker at Survivor Series, who would it be? For Taker, and let's say Taker is having his retirement match at Survivor Series in his home state of Texas. Who is he going to fight with at Survivor Series? It's come full circle. Survivor Series is the pay-per-view where he made his debut. The pay-per-view is going to be in Dallas, Texas. He's from Texas, so it's coming full circle. It's coming full circle. I think I have an opponent in mind for Taker. Now this could be a stretch. This could be a stretch. I don't think this individual will come out of retirement to face Taker one more time for the final time. And he's also a Texan. No, it's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, it's not Stone Cold. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Taker and Shawn at Survivor Series. I wouldn't be surprised at all on that. I really wouldn't. Because I was watching Monday Night Raw a long time ago. I was watching this last week on the network. I was watching where Taker and Triple H was cutting their promo before their match at WrestleMania 27 in Chicago. Taker told Triple H that Shawn gave Taker two of the greatest WrestleMania matches of his entire career. That's what he said. Now, they can have this at WrestleMania. I wouldn't want to see that at WrestleMania. I would rather much see that at Survivor Series. If Shawn was to come out of retirement to do one match, it's gotta be against Taker. It's gotta be. Maybe Taker already has in mind who he wants to face last to end his career. Maybe Taker already has that opponent in mind. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But I was watching the Last Ride documentary, and he even said it. If Vince thinks that Taker should retire, Vince would tell him. Vince would tell him. Taker basically said to Vince, if you think that I do not belong in the ring again, tell me. Tell me. Now, one thing I took away from part 2, from chapter 2, was when a producer asked Vince about how he felt about Undertaker. Vince started crying, and I saw the emotion, all the tears in Vince's eyes. Because Vince knew. I know it. You know it if you're a long-time wrestling fan. Every old wrestling fan knows this. And this is my opinion. If Taker would have went back to WCW during the Monday Night Wars when Brett was out, fucking Kevin Nash was out, Scott Hall was gone, when everybody else left Vince to go to WCW. If Taker would have went back to WCW, mind you, WCW is the same company that told Taker, you will never be a main eventer. Nobody would ever pay money to see you wrestle. This is what WCW literally told Taker. Nobody would ever pay money to come see you wrestle. Look at that has shaped out 30 years later. Look at that has shaped out 30 years later. If Taker would have left Vince's side to go to WCW, World Wrestling Entertainment to this very day would not exist. It wouldn't. I know it. You know it. Vince knows it. Taker knows it. Everybody knows it. If Taker would have left Vince back and went back to WCW during the Monday Night Wars, World Wrestling Entertainment right now, to this very day, would have never even happened. World Wrestling Entertainment to this day would not be in business. It would not. Because back then, Taker was a draw. Back then, Shawn was a draw. Stone Cold was a draw. The Rock was a draw. All those main event guys were draws back then. Guys like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and Hulk Hogan and everybody else that went to WCW. They went there for the money, for greater pastures, for more money. And Taker cut that promo in Chicago back in June of '98. I remember it vividly. Taker said Vince had all of his hand-picked champions go down south for greater pasture, for more money, while Taker stood here. That was the loyalty that he had for Vince. And Vince, whether you people know this or not, Vince was the guy that gave Taker a chance. Vince did something that WCW did not do, was give Taker a chance. Vince had this Undertaker character, and he gave it to Mark Calloway. He gave it to him. And Taker said, "Okay, I'll play this character. Outside of WrestleMania," and I will forever say this, as long as my heart is beating and as long as my lungs are filled with air, outside of WrestleMania, The Undertaker is Vince McMahon's second greatest creation. Outside of WrestleMania, The Undertaker is the greatest character that he's ever made. And nobody will disagree with me on that standpoint. Nobody will. But if you guys have been watching the documentary of The Last Ride from Taker, it's fucking phenomenal. Go watch it. Chapter 1, I think it's 55 minutes. Chapter 2, I believe it's close to an hour. If you guys need something to watch while you're bored, you got like some snacks or some food and a good beverage, and you need something good to watch for over 55 minutes to an hour, go watch Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of the Undertaker Last Ride documentary. It is fucking phenomenal. And this Sunday, when it's showing Chapter 3, they'll be showing the matches he had at, I believe, Super Showdown in Australia with Triple H, which led to the tag team match between Kane and Taker versus Papa Ace and Shawn on that terrible fucking nightmare of a tag team match at Crown Jewel back in 2018. I think it'll be some good shit next week. So look forward to that on Sunday. Should be some good shit. I can't wait. We get a look at Shayna Baszler and tonight's submission match. Asuka's backstage with officials checking on Kairi Sane. She rushes away and she's not happy. And back from the break, Naya's walking. Asuka runs up and stops her, yelling and ranting in Japanese. Jax just keeps walking. Asuka grabs her by her hair and rocks her, dropping her. Asuka yells at Jax while she's down and walks away. It's clear-cut indication we are getting, Jax and Asuka at Backlash for the Raw Women's Championship. Clearly, we're going to get that. Clearly. No question about it. We're going to get a submission match between Shayna Baszler and Natalya. Obviously, Shayna Baszler won. She had the Kuda Fuda clutch. Natalya's just a fade and she finally taps out for the finish. Shayna Baszler wins. I think after Nia Jax, I think it'll be Shayna Baszler next in line to face Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. But the submission match, waste of time. Shayna Baszler right now should be Miss Money in the Bank right now. Or at least the Raw Women's Champion right now as we speak. We got the Kevin Owens show. Tom welcomes Owens back. Owens jokingly thanks Natalya for what she did to his set. Owens talks about being away following his WrestleMania 36 no DQ win over Seth Rollins and says he's back, he's better, and he's ready to go. If you guys didn't know, KO had a ankle injury sustained at WrestleMania, so that's why he's been out for the last couple of weeks. Owens brings out his guests, Zelina Vega, Austin Theory, Angel Garza, and the United States Champion Andrade. Owens apologizes for the mess in the ring. He goes to comment on why he wanted the group on the show, and Vega interrupts. She says Owens was hoping for a Jerry Springer moment with her group. Vega is sick of everyone looking for dysfunction in the group and thinks her empire is falling apart. She praises Andrade first, then Garza. She also praises Theory and then herself as the best in the business has seen in a long time. On the microphone. Vega says they all came from the streets and they survived. The streets weren't made for everyone, which is why they made sidewalks. For people like Owens reveals that he has another guest for tonight. The music hits and out comes Apollo Crews making his return from his knee injury. Crews hits the ring and takes Andrade down. Unloading on him, Theory and Garza get involved, but so does Owens as we go back to commercial break. We get a tag team match between Crews and Owens versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens win. Crews looks to put Garza away, but Zelina Vega distracts from the apron. This leads to Austin Theory trying to interfere from ringside, but it backfires as Theory rocks Andrade. Well, it wasn't Andrade, it was Angel Garza with a forearm instead of Crews. Crews follows up with a big sit-down powerbomb to Garza for the pin and the win. After the match, Apollo Crews music hits and they celebrate as we go to replays. Vega and her team are in the ring now celebrating, talking because they took the loss. Talking about what happened. Theory says it was an accident. Vega isn't so sure. It sounds like, it clearly was an accident. Clearly was. Andrade attacks from behind and drops Theory. Garza joins in they double team Theory as Vega watches. Theory is beating up at ringside now. Theory tries to fight back, but they keep control. Vega says she wouldn't. She would have never believed in Theory. She should have believed in Theory. She smacks him as the other two hold him. They toss Theory into some steel chairs. And Andrade throws another at him to end the segment. Now, there were reports over the weekend that they was going to send Austin Theory back to NXT. And at this point, I would have been okay with that if Theory went back to NXT. Because the simple fact that Theory is only 22 years old. You need to understand this. Theory is only 22. He's only 22 years old. What is he doing on the main roster? What is he doing there? He's too young. Not really too, because we've had younger people there, but at a long time ago, yeah, sure. But still, Theory is only 22 years old. He shouldn't be on the main roster. If I was booking Austin Theory right now, he'll be in NXT feuding for either the NXT North American Championship or the NXT Championship. Hell, I wouldn't mind putting Austin Theory against Keith Lee or an Austin Theory versus Adam Cole. Theory would have been either the youngest North American champion in history or the youngest NXT champion in history. I wouldn't mind either of those two. But to put him on the main roster, he has a bright future in him. He's got a bright future. Why does he need to be on the main roster now? He's only 22. I don't get that. Charlie's with Drew backstage. Drew is having fun and having a good time. I love Drew. I fucking love Drew with a passion. He says the brand to brand invitation is great and makes way for dream matches in WWE. Yeah, they say that same thing about the wildcard rule last year, and look how that turned out to be terrible. Drew goes on and calls King Corbin a terrible human being and admits he does terrible things in the ring and is dangerous. Drew says Corbin does what it takes to win, but he's got a special Claymore with Corbin's name on it, one fit for the king. And Drew walks through. I love the charisma of Drew McIntyre. I just love it. One thing I love about Drew, and this is the main thing that I love so much about Drew, when he wants to joke around sometimes, his sense of humor and his charisma comes out. But when it's time to get serious in the ring, that's when he's money at. It's in the ring. When he's more serious in the ring. And I love that. Just fucking fantastic. I love that. I will not go over the axe handle match. I will not go after that. I will not review that because it's just fucking terrible. We go to Black and Murphy. This match ended by a no disqualification. How many times have we seen this match on Monday Night Raw? How many times? A whole bunch. Black wins by DQ after Austin Theory comes in and attacks. Rollins. We had Black and Murphy in the ring, and Theory is still on the outside, suffering from the attack from Garza, Andrade, and Zelina. Rollins is approaching Theory, and he's looking at him like, okay, he's there, okay. So Rollins extends his hand to Theory, and Theory picks him up. And Rollins picks Theory up. He looks at him more and shit. He goes to the ring after Rollins tells him to attack Black, and Theory attacks Black. After the bell, Rollins also enters the ring. He looks on as Black is double teamed by Theory and Murphy now. Murphy with a big knee to Black's face. Rollins gives more commands as Theory drops Black with the ATL. In the middle of the ring, Rollins walks over to Theory and hugs him as Murphy looks on. Rollins has a new disciple. The music hits as he embarrasses them. We go back to commercial with Rollins embracing Theory again. And the show, well, not the show, the segment ends with Rollins embracing Theory as we go to commercial. I will not go over the axe handle throwing shit. The axe throwing count. I'm not going to go over that. That shit was fucking terrible. I said this earlier. Why is, instead of keeping him on Raw, why don't you put Austin Theory back in NXT? Where Triple H needs him more. Don't you want to build up Austin Theory as the future of the company? Do that in NXT. He was great in Evolve. I think he will do a whole lot better in NXT. Him being 22 years old on the main roster, not a good look. I mean, it's a not bad look, but at the end of the day, he needs to learn. He needs to go to NXT. That's where he's needed right now in NXT. That's where he's needed right now in NXT. Charlie's backstage with Apollo Crews. He talks about losing his spot in the Money in the Bank and how the past 3 weeks have been some of the hardest in his life. He's had to look deep inside himself, and now he's confident that the final piece to bring everything back together will fall into place soon. Crews challenges Andrade for the U.S. title next week on Raw. Crews says that feels good to say out loud. Zelina Vega interrupts. She says Crews has a choice here. Cut his losses and walk away with one good knee, or step into the ring with Andrade next week and never walk again. Crews says Andrade better be ready next week. Crews has more words for Andrade before leaving. This is really just one of the worst TV shows in the history of TV. There you go. That is true. And I'm getting my notes from Wrestling Inc. So there you go. Apollo versus Andrade next week. Sign me up. The last match they had was really, really good. It ended in I believe in a no contest because of Apollo's knee. But this could be good for next week. This could be good for next week. Finally, guys, main event. How long am I in here? Over an hour. King Baron Corbin goes one-on-one with the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. McIntyre wins. The match wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It was alright for what it was. It was okay. Drew talks trash to Corbin while he's down, telling him to get his ass up and prove himself. Corbin blocks a future shot DDT and rams Drew into the corner. Corbin with a big side slam, but Drew still kicks out at one. Now, there's been a lot of matches as of late that McIntyre has been kicking out at one, which is a good thing. Because you want to build up Drew as big as possible. Corbin can't believe it. Corbin and McIntyre trade big strikes as MVP and Lashley look on from the stage as they were looking on, because I think Lashley and McIntyre are going to go at it at Backlash for the WWE Championship. That's what I think will probably happen. Drew catches Corbin and drops him with the future shot DDT. Drew waits in the corner as Corbin slowly recovers. Corbin sidesteps the Claymore and drops Drew with a deep six, which I love the deep six. Drew kicks out just in time. Corbin barks back at MVP's distraction. Drew ducks End of Days and nails a Glasgow kiss headbutt. Corbin runs out and right back in, but Drew catches them with a big Claymore kick for the victory. After the match, Drew looks on and embraces the title. As the music hits, we go to replays. Drew looks up at MVP and Lashley, ranting about how he wants to fight Lashley and how the WWE Universe has been waiting for him to step up. MVP and Lashley look back at the ring as Drew raises the WWE title on the air as Raw goes off the air. We are getting McIntyre. I mean, this is just basically confirmed without it being confirmed. We're getting McIntyre and Lashley at Backlash for the WWE Championship. And I said this earlier with Lashley. You cannot build up Lashley when he's facing R-Truth 3 straight weeks, dating back to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. You can't just build up Lashley with the same opponent 3 straight weeks and expect us to think that Lashley is legit enough to beat Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. It's not happening, folks. It's not happening. It's not happening. At least be happy about it. At least it's not gender. Thank Christ we didn't get gender at all on this show tonight. Thank Christ. We didn't get gender at all tonight in the show. Thank fucking Christ. This show is fucking terrible. As always, outside of the opening segment and the return of Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews, what else happened on this show? Nothing. And I am going to go play some NBA 2K20 and then take a shower and then go to bed. I am exhausted. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the review, hit the like button. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of Raw tonight. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to show your support. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on those guys for all notifications. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite review. Thursday will be NXT review. Friday will be SmackDown. And then I'll take the weekend off, and I'll see you guys next week on Monday for Raw review. Don't forget, you guys are getting Raw right now. AEW on Wednesday, NXT review Thursday, SmackDown on Friday. No podcast this weekend until I am officially ready enough to, do a podcast. Right now, I don't want to do a podcast. I don't want to give you guys too much content. So I'll just stick to Raw, Dynamite, NXT, and SmackDown. And then I'll be good to go with that until I'm ready enough to do a podcast. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, if you like, comment, subscribe, share the video all over social media. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite as we are on the road to Double or Nothing. The last Dynamite show before Double or Nothing should be great. Can't wait for that show. Till then, I am Chris. Do not forget, DJ Storms is the biggest pussy in the IWC, and he is the biggest pussy living on God's green earth. Till then, I am Chris. God bless you guys. Talk to you guys later.